Welcome to the Heart of the Matter. Joining us today is Crystal Chigbu, founder of the Irede Foundation, an organization that provides hope for child amputees. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Susan.
So, according to your website, every year 200 million children are born with a disability or become disabled before the age of 19. Tell us more about your foundation and what it's doing.
The foundation basically works with child amputees, and not just child amputees, so also their caregivers, and we also try to work with the entire community. And it was born out of my experience. My first daughter is an amputee. She got amputated at the age of 2 as a result of a congenital illness. So when I gave birth to her, she had a condition called tibial hemimelemia, which is basically she didn't have a bone in her right leg and she did not have a kneecap. So we were told that we needed to amputate, but we kind of thought, okay, so many other things we could research.
Did you know this before she was born?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
And I did a number of scans, but really none of the scans actually showed me that my daughter had an issue. And I didn't know until she was born. And even when she was born, we thought probably it was just a condition that could be taken care of, probably by casting the leg or something. We thought it was a club foot at a point. Club foot, basically, our foot was turned to the back when we had her. So we just thought, oh, it will be addressed immediately. But that did not happen. With research, we found out that actually a bone was missing, and she did not have a kneecap like everybody else. So
is there a particular cause for that, or it's just?
From research, there's really no reason or no cause. Probably it's something just happened along the growth circle, and ill luck. I mean, as most of the books you read would say, for her case. And when she was 2, we had to amputate.
That must have been tough.
Well, at that time, yes, it was tough. If I say it's still, sometimes it is still tough, because every day we go through different issues. So, but it's been a worthwhile journey. I sometimes introduce myself of mother of a 5-year-old, proud mother of an amputee, because even with the amputation, we've been blessed.
So tell us more about your foundation and how it helps amputees adapt to limb loss.
The first thing the foundation does, and I'll try to link it to my experience really, because when we were told that we had to amputate, my daughter's name is Beulah, when we were told we had to amputate her, we didn't want to take that decision because we had never heard of someone that had to go through the same thing. So it wasn't easy to make the decision, because you couldn't profile someone else that had done same here in Nigeria, and so you were going to follow suit. So it was really, really very difficult. So for me, really, setting up the foundation, the first thing was like comforting others with what you've been comforted with. So it was more like a support group, something that could address other people that were going through the same issue, just really talking through, because sometimes you just need to talk to somebody, or someone hear you out, someone that is not going to judge you and just understand your situation. So really, the foundation focuses on support. We try to work with the caregivers, the parents of the amputees, the children that are amputated, or even amputees that are adults, and try to be there for them as a support. We also do a bit of education, educating the society on why people go through amputation. So in my daughter's case, it was a case of a congenital illness, and she had to be amputated. But in some other people's cases, it's sometimes as a result of trauma. So a child had an accident, had a mismanaged fracture, and as a result of that, something goes wrong and the child has to be amputated. Sometimes it's as a result of cancer. So some kids have cancer, and even adults, and then you have to amputate. Sometimes as a result of diabetes. So people go through amputation as a result of different things. So basically, trying to educate the society. And lastly, we do what we call empowerment. So we try to provide prosthetic limbs for people that cannot afford it. And still under empowerment, you have people that can afford prostheses, but really they just need advice as to how do I get the right prosthesis for my child, or even mentoring for the children, because we've seen people that have been amputated and have gone through life and have lived a successful life. So they mentor other children that are just growing. So that's basically, in a nutshell, what we do.
Can you please take us through the process of you deciding to set up the foundation? Because clearly there would have been some challenges you would have faced that led you to start up the foundation. So can you tell us what those challenges are? Because I believe these are same challenges that other mothers of amputees may be facing.
The first thing that happened was the only support I had was family and church. So apart from church, like I said, the doctors, no one could show me someone that had amputated their child as a result of a congenital issue. I read it up in books, I saw it on the internet, but nobody could show me. So, and at the time that we started going to the hospital, I started meeting other parents with similar issues. And because they probably couldn't do the research, they also weren't going to opt for it. We all just wanted a way out. So, but more interestingly, at some point, I met a woman that actually had an amputee also as a child, and she had even gotten a prosthetic limb for a child at that point, but the child wasn't going to school, and she wasn't living life. So it was an opportunity to be able to express to her how I was able to go through the change and transition in my life. So I started working with her. We would talk every day. I took her to church. The son will come around to play with my daughter, and then we started talking to them about getting their child into school, because our daughter was in school and they wanted to understand how she was coping in school, the stigmatization, how we were able to go through the process. And then at that point, I started writing and blogging about it, and I felt, wait a minute, you can help more people. And then doctors would sometimes even call me and say, oh, you know what, we have a case. And the parents are just not agreeing to amputate the child. Maybe if you talk to them, they would agree. Maybe if you showcase your daughter to them, it's okay, I will do that. And, you know, it was informal. I started the process informally, and then we decided to register the foundation.
Please hold that thought. We need to take a break. Viewers, we'll be right back.
Watch your favorite Heart of the Matter episodes online at www.theheartofthematter.tv. Also, check out exciting behind-the-scenes photos. Leave your comments and like us on Facebook.
Welcome back to the Heart of the Matter. We still have with us Mrs. Crystal Chigbu, founder of the Irede Foundation. Now that we've addressed some of the challenges, how does your foundation help solve these challenges?
I know earlier I talked about the 3 ways in which we do it. So what we try to do is bring those 3 ways to life every day. On education, we post on a week-to-week basis things on the internet, news about amputation, how to manage amputation, people that have been amputated, how they are managing their lives. We try to put that out on the internet because that's the easiest way for us to reach people. We also have flyers that we drop around hospitals so people can pick up information from time to time from our brochure, where you can read up and what you need to do in case something happens immediately. For support, we have on our website what we call Refer a Child. So you can actually refer someone. You can send an email directly to our info box if you have any questions, or you know somebody, because you have people that probably cannot even access the internet. So they probably just saw something on TV, or someone read it up and told another person about it. So you can actually refer a child to us. When we have children referred to us, for us really our focus is majorly on children. There are other foundations that do things for adults. So what we basically do is, if we get an adult, we refer them. We also have about 20% of our funds actually that goes to adults. However, if we need to make a call, we stay with kids. When we have those children referred to us, we profile them to be sure that actually they can't afford it, because really an average Nigerian cannot afford to get a prosthesis, and especially in the case of a child, keep changing it, because when the child grows either fatter or taller, then the child needs to change the prosthesis. So we maintain the prosthesis for the children that we take on. from whatever age we take them on till they are 18 years. And the reason why we chose 18 years is because once they are 18, we know that the rate of change is going to reduce to about 5 years or 6 years thereabouts. So we know that by then they would have been empowered by the programs that we do and everything, and then they will be able to take care of their prostheses themselves. Also, we're about to start a project where we're partnering with doctors at Lasut, and then we're training technicians to be able to get better at what they do, because the prostheses that we give to children today, most of them are imported. So we really don't have the materials to produce or make prostheses here. When we eventually make the ones we make here, they're a bit heavy, and then the children cannot make use of them. So every day, that's really what we do. So it looks like a routine, but interestingly, we meet different people along the way. So it's programmed for the entire society, putting up things out there. It's support for the caregivers. So sometimes we, from time to time, call the people that we've worked with, both the people we've given prostheses or those that have identified with us, and check the progress of the child and see how the child is doing. Is the child in school? Is the child's health okay? And all of that. So
what is the cost of the prostheses?
For the prostheses that we give, it costs us about 950,000 to ₦1 million to get a prosthesis out for a child.
Why is it so expensive?
I think it's because really we don't have the materials right here, and like I said, we're beginning to identify local manufacturers that can be trained and then can get their skills better. So we just identified one. We will work with the person, and then once we certify that the person is very good, then we can start using them for the kids, because also we realize that children are they're delicate, they are precious. So you don't want to, if you give a child a wrong prosthesis, it could affect the spinal cord, especially for those that are for the lower limb, so the legs. So you need to be very, very careful and ensure that whatever you're giving to the child is suitable for the child. So I think basically it's expensive because, and I mean, even abroad, prostheses are very expensive. As the functionalities and the technicalities of it, you know, the aesthetics get even more sophisticated, the prices go up.
And is this the same for, so because you mentioned that sometimes as the child puts on weight or loses weight, you have to change. So it's the same cost, but every time you have to change.
Yeah, because you're probably getting a new prosthesis.
Okay.
One of the things that we're beginning to also work on is we're having people donate prostheses to the foundation. We're building our own capacity and capabilities to be able to, you know, pieces it and then reuse it for someone else. So as we build capability and capacity in that angle, we will be able to reduce our cost even further to work at
so roughly how many do you give out a year? I know you started in 2012.
Yeah, when we started in 2012, we were able to give out just about 2. In 2003, we did about 6. Okay. This year, we've done about 14. So we're progressing, and we're taking it, you know, really very slow, because we want to get it right and ensure. And you know, the interesting thing is, it's once we do a child, the rate of change for the children, depending on the age, is about 6 months to 1 year. So sometimes we even change for a child like 3 times in a year before the year runs out, and we've changed for one child.
How are you funding all of this?
When the Irede Foundation started, we started funding with our own funds and our friends. Okay. So basically, it was more of talking to people, and then because really, I was talking to a friend in the office on Friday, and he said, actually, you know, the reason why we give you, because we see you in the pain, we see that, you know, you're going through it, and we've seen how you've managed your daughter, and if you've done that with your daughter, you can do it with someone else. Mm-hmm. So really, we started with the group of friends that we're working with. So the whole of 2012, really, it was my husband and friends, and then in 2013, we got support from Irede Foundation. And then after Irede Foundation supported us, we had MODE. And then we also have on a yearly basis a walk that we called Out on a Limb. So it's an awareness walk. And then this year we had about 16 companies support us in the walk. So we're beginning to get traction. People are beginning to know about it. And then also, I think a few days ago we heard that Rotary wanted to give out 1,000 limbs, which is interesting. So we're seeing how to partner with them and get our own children also, we call them Irede children, get them prosthetic limbs, and see how those prostheses are actually customized for the kids.
You also have a child sponsorship platform. Can you tell us more about that? I believe people can adopt a child?
Yes. For us, what we call adoption is basically we have kids that are being profiled. So you can say, I'm going to take on a child and I'm going to be responsible for the child's processes. Like what Mobile Decisioning Holdings, what the company did was to say, okay, we're going to support 2 children, and then they pick, and also Sahara does that, they pick the children that they want to be a part of their lives. So those kids, we report the kids back to them, they check up on the children, they go at will to go and see the child, to actually see whether the child is using the prosthesis or not. They take pictures, they have access to the family of the child. So we have individuals that also say, we're going to partner with you. We have churches that say, we're going to partner with you to build a child's life, to give support and help to this child. So people come from time to time. We have people that give on a monthly basis and just say, you know what, I just have 1,000 naira and I'm just going to be supporting with this 1,000 naira. So we keep in touch with people, helping them to understand, okay, these are the number of children that we have. This is what we're doing with the funds that you're bringing in. These are our plans for the next year or the near future, and what we want to do with the children, basically that.
Okay. And lastly, before you go, can you, if somebody is interested in partnering up with you, how can they go about it?
The first thing really is we have a website that really details what we do, and we have the sponsorship form. So you can say, I want to give on a monthly basis, cash. Or you can say, I'm going to donate prostheses. Or you can say, I'm going to donate my services. Because interestingly, I mean, because we are a non-for-profit organization, our website currently today is being sponsored by someone. So someone just does the website for us. So if you look at it, you might think the person is not giving directly to support the child, but it's taking up the burden and the funding of that of us, so that makes it, so you can give in kind and you can give in cash. We have people that say, oh, for every event you do, I'm going to take care of your photography, and oh, if you're doing this work, we're going to provide water for you. So it's whatever you have to give. We have people that give financial, so like the people that audit our books, we don't pay anything. They just give that service for us, so we don't have to try and get financial people. They just come in from time to time and do that service for us and go away.
So we need to take another quick break. Viewers, we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Heart of the Matter. We still have with us Mrs. Crystal Chigbu, who's talking about child amputees. What role do you think government can take to provide a more conducive environment for disabled people?
There's so much that can be done. I think we should have policies that support them, ensuring that we have ramps in buildings, making it easy for them to be able to move. But we just had a recently concluded Disability Week or Disability Day organized by Lagos State government, where a lot of people, NGOs working with disabled people came on board to talk and really talk about their experiences. If we could have more of those kind of forums, it would help, because we work with these people every day. We work with the adults, the children that have these challenges, and we see what they face every day. So we're able to bring that, you know, forming the committee and really seeing how we can make it better. So they've started working on some things. There are policies now, I think. There are laws that have been passed, you know, for Lagos State governments and things that you need to do. We just need to see to execution. Okay. So,
driving through traffic in Lagos, you see a lot of beggars on the road who, you know, are amputees. How can we, you know, encourage and empower them, you know, to pursue their dreams and, you know, live a normal life?
For me, I think first thing would be if we could get them off the road, and then really it's about information, and begin to give them information and showcase for them someone that has been through it and the person is living a self-sufficient life. If I don't see an example, I wouldn't be able to follow. So like for my daughter, sometimes I remember enrolling her for swimming classes, and she came back and told me, Mommy, I just can't. I used to be able to do it, but I can't right now. So, I mean, we had a whole week of watching videos of amputees that are swimming. And then she told me, I think I'll be able to do it now. And then she went back for her swimming classes. So I think it's being able to showcase for them, they being able to see, being able to trust and believe that, oh, you've taken me out of this, because really begging, people make money off it. So if I'm able to work, or there's this amputee that is working and the person is doing very well. Like I know an amputee that is a broadcaster, and you probably wouldn't even know she's an amputee. When we do the work, she does kilometers of work. I know a lot of them, maybe because of my daughter's situation. So really, I think that's going to help. And we've started a coalition. We're hoping that it's really the execution of it, and as the years go by, it gets better and better.
Can you please tell us what life is like now in your home? Your daughter is 5 now. Does she have any siblings?
Yes, she has a younger brother. So she has elder sisters.
So what is life like in your family, and where do you find your strength from?
Strength. I'd like to take you from strength first. Honestly, it's God. And it's not a cliche. It's people ask me how I go through it every day. I don't have to bother because someone else takes care of it, and that is God. He makes it. I don't think of my child. He solves everything that I have to think of about my child, and then I have time to focus on other people. Life is interesting. My daughter is an interesting phenomenon. You meet her and you probably wouldn't know she's an amputee because she does swim, like I said. She dances ballet. Recently, she started taekwondo classes. So she's able to do a whole lot. We don't see her as disabled. We don't see her as not able to do anything because she does everything. So she climbs, she sleeps in a bunk bed, and she sleeps up. So we make her do everything. And when she's naughty, she's spanked for being naughty. We use the rod so that she understands. She's not seen differently or separately. We take her.
She's not spoiled.
No, she can't be because she's normal.
Yes.
And like I tell people every time, disability is a thing of the mind. So even for disabilities that you can't see, it's a mind game.
Yes.
And you have a lot of people that have prostheses in their body, but you can't see it. So sometimes we even have eyes, but we can't see. So it's a mind game. So we work
really key because you find that for some other parents, they may just feel, you know, pity and, you know, sorry, and then they forget there's also the child's character needs to be built. Yeah. And so they, you know, relent on building the character and just feel sorry. But I like the fact that you say that you try and you treat her like she's normal. Yeah. She needs to be spanked, you spank her.
She is. I mean, she understands that she does wash her plates by herself. You finish eating, she takes her plate to the kitchen and she gets it washed. She's not treated differently. She's just a child. She's not my child. She goes to a normal school and she does all her activities. And she doesn't have a reason. I mean, I remember there was a time she fell down and she was feeling pity for herself. And my dad asked her, Beulah, does your brother fall down? She said, yes. So why are you... People fall down every day. So when her brother falls down now, she tells her brother, get up. People fall down every day because people fall down. Yeah. People really do fall down. So it's not because she uses an artificial limb, because I could be going and I trip and fall. So we try to help build her confidence in the Word of God. She says, we try to make her say a memory verse every week, and then she recites it every day. And we link it to things of strength. So she's able to say, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. She knows where it is found, and she says it to herself over and over again. So she tells you, I can jump because I have Christ. So already, and she gave her life to Christ last week. So it's interesting, and it's interesting times, really. I think we are just blessed, and like I said, it's the comfort with which we are comforted. We're able to comfort other people. It's God. He's the deciding factor. I don't want to preach because it's easy to get into preaching, but when I cast my mind back and remember how we went through the process, you can't really lay your finger on one thing that you've done for yourself. And my husband also told me once that God told him that he was going to take care of our daughter. So every day when we see things unveiling, we know that it's God that is behind it. So it's the source of our strength, God, Jesus, basically.
So what advice do you have for viewers who don't know where to start, you know, with getting help for limb loss?
The first thing I would tell anybody is it's okay to cry. Because a lot of times people tell you, don't cry, be strong, but you can't tell me to be strong when you've not been through what I'm going through. So it's okay to cry, but don't stay crying. You need to move on to the next level. And if it's you going through the pain or of amputation yourself, then the first thing is you need to seek help. You need to, if you're an adult, you need to try and read up and see how to manage it. There are a lot of pain that comes with even the amputation. So even after you've been amputated, there are days people don't feel like using prostheses. So it's okay. Don't try to be anybody else. Just live your life. And if you're a parent, you're in my shoes of an amputee, you need to be strong for your child. You need to get all the information there is, gather information, and try to be strong. And then that's why you have the Irede Foundation. You can always come to us. We'll help you walk through the journey. You can reach us on phone. Our website is www.theiredefoundation. Just come. We'll listen to you, and we'll help you walk through the process, because one person's journey is not the same. I mean, for someone that has a cancer, sometimes they're still wondering, will I be able to move on? Will I have a relapse? So it's okay to give me a prosthesis, but will I have a relapse? So we will help you go through the process, because by God's grace, we have people that have gone through everything, and then we will bring the one that fits into the situation and talk with you. But above all, I think in whatever small little way you believe there is God, and it just helps make the journey light. So you might want to just hang on God.
Thank you so much for that enlightening advice. We really enjoyed having you on the show.
Thank you.
Well, we hope you enjoyed watching another episode of The Heart of the Matter. See you next week.